Hello and welcome. I'm Mercy, the head game master here at the Monsters, and we're back with another Working Wednesday stream. I just got back from a walk because it was way too nice outside for today for a fall day not to go do that. So we're keeping the hat on because it was a little breezy. The hair is a bit of a war crime. Let's see. News, man. I guess D&D related news. So we're working today, which is, of course, Wednesday, the 8th of October. I'll be here on Wednesday, the 15th next week for sure. Wednesday, the 22nd is iffy because that's a few days before our Spooktober subathon starts on twitch.tv/HereThereBeMonsters. So definitely working stream next week. We'll see you on the week after that. Let's see what else. So what we're working on today is prep for the first official World of Rin one-shot that is going to be happening this Friday. That's Friday the 10th of October, starting at around 6 p.m. Pacific time. The setting is going to be the players will be playing as the NPCs who have recently settled the lands that have been deeded to Alundite the Knight Paladin by the Crown. If you're not up to date with the general story so far in the world of Ren, you, of course, can catch up with all of our sessions here on YouTube on this channel at youtube.com/HereThereBeMonsters. So today we have two main things to get done. I don't have my overlays because, as you may or may not have heard, we had to completely nuke our broadcast setup, and we're in the process of slowly rebuilding it from scratch. So our two big things for the day are one, actually make the official announcement of the one shot. We've been talking about it for a while.
YouTube stream is now live.
Holy heck, the light sensor really on the new camera is super sensitive to the flashing lights. Oh, right. So I've been talking informally about the upcoming one-shot for quite a while now, like a week or two, but I haven't actually made the official announcement for reasons that are ultimately unimportant for today. So that needs to get done, obviously. That being said, we are still recruiting. I have a number of people that I know are interested, but I only actually have one locked in for sure. So we have up to 4 spots. If you might be interested, let us know in Discord. So I'm going to actually make the official announcement. And then 2 is I need to get as many of the characters pre-built as possible. And we've got an hour to an hour and a half in which to do those things. So first things first, the announcement. Because we don't need characters if we don't have players. I wasn't necessarily planning on using video, but I did just see some stock video that is actually quite neat. I apologize. Did not get the mic muted in time. Okay, I searched for Frontier, but that's finding me a lot of Western-inspired things. There's a super cool drone footage in a forest that would actually be perfect, but it's only 30 seconds long. It is 60 FPS, so I could slow it down to 30 FPS and get a minute, but if I was going to try to set it to song, the song we would use is longer than that. That being said, how long is the song? Long song. Oh boy. Nope, nope. Wait. Interesting. Library. Oh no. I apparently did not do a good job of labeling which version of the song it was. Might as well pipe this through to stream. Open that up and go here. And then, let's see, I'd need to go here, add a scene, add the game scene. Yes, that's me scuba diving, but ultimately you don't need to be able to see that. We just need it there so you can hear it. All right. Let's see if this is the version of it that I wanted.
Oh, the king gave a land where the wild winds wail, past the forest deep and the mountain trail. With hammer, hope, and a worn-out blade, we came to build, not be afraid. Raise the beams and drive the stake, sow the seeds and mend what breaks. Through rain and cold and beast untamed, we'll make a life on the land we've claimed.
The city hums with the calm design, but things move fast past the borderline. Got faith and steel and hope and song, and hearts that know where they belong.
Raise the beams and drive the stake, sow the seeds and mend what breaks. Through rain and cold and beasts untamed, we'll make a life on the land we've claimed. The quartermaster taught us what to sow, the cleric blessed the heart's warm glow, the ranger keeps the paths in sight, and the blacksmith burns through every night. We'll bury friends beneath this loam, but still we build, still call it home. The world may bite, the gods may test, but we won't yield, we do our best. Oh, 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 oh. Raise the beams and drive the stake, sow the seeds and mend what breaks. Through blade and faith and dreams unshamed,
We'll make our mark on the land we've claimed.
Okay, that was in fact the one that I wanted, but also a good way to fill the air while I focused on what I was doing for a minute. Which is probably wasting time, frankly, but looking for a custom font to use. That's going to be stuck in my head for a while. I'm actually really happy with how that song came out. For those of you that don't know the story there, that is, I wrote the lyrics for that, and I had the music itself generated. It's a cool fancy font, but it's a little too fancy. It's always the difficult thing with that sort of design is if you make it so fancy that you can't read it. Running the same problem with fancy dice, speaking of D&D, pretty frequently. Stock footage video of forest. It's all like drone footage from 1,000 feet. I want something that's at walking height, you know? Oh dear God, this one's encoded as a photo JPEG. Nope. I do not want to mess with that. Hello, Anolo. My back's a bit sore, but doing good otherwise. Thank you. How about you? I did not anticipate this being a difficult thing to find. There we go. That's closer. Why is it filmed at 24 FPS? I remember I said that my back was a little sore, but I literally already forgot if I followed that up with what I meant to, which was how are you doing? You're okay studying because of your K1 on Friday morning. Then you finally have a 3-week back break from exams after. Yeah, yeah. You guys have had a lot. Okay. Moving on then from a video, because I'm going to spend too long on that otherwise, and it's kind of perfectionism where the amount of effort does not is not commensurate to the amounts of impact. That's kind of cool. I wish I could show you what I'm looking at, but technically I don't have the rights for them until I like redeem it and claim the rights, which I can do, but I can't. That means when I'm scrolling, I don't have that yet technically. How long have I been on? Oh god. Yeah, I definitely spent too long fiddling with that. But at least I realized it before I might have in the past. I am indeed going to have my own song stuck in my head though. Just trying to find a picture of an old cabin. And one that doesn't have glass. You know? Mm-hmm. This is almost all the same. Oh, and there's glass in that one too. Gosh dang it. Did not anticipate this being something that would require very much time or effort. Okay, let's try going a different direction with this. See if Photoshop can just generate us something. It's been a while since I've messed with their image generation. I don't know. I have no idea really what the quality of it is at this point. I just need a background photo that sort of looks like it fits. Did they remove that? It used to be you could hardly get the prompt for it out of your dang face. Select generate image from the, wait. Start with a blank canvas, then select generate image from the contextual taskbar edit menu or the tools panel. Hello, Isadora. How are you? I'm doing pretty good, thank you. My back's a bit sore, but in the grand scheme of things, I'll take it. Weird. I had to search for it. Wow, it just did rolling restarts of the realm. So you move back to studying. Oh no! Yeah, we're working, Isadora. We're gonna have our first official D&D run one shot in the Kingdom of Rin. Our D&D campaign setting. And I'm making a flyer, if you will. So I'm trying to get a background picture for my flyer is what I'm doing right now. You know what? That's good enough. You're trying to prep for your horror TTRPG session next week. You left off on a cliffhanger and have no idea where you're going with it. I know that feeling. Well, if you want to try and workshop it, I'm happy to spitball ideas with you. But obviously, if you're doing your own thing, no worries. I think the trickiest thing is an NPC they all know has been replaced by something else. You're debating if any of them should be able to even attempt to see through it or if they have to figure it out in some other way. Ah. Mm. I think honestly, my thought or feedback there would be what is the general pacing? If you tend to be a little slower paced, I would tend more towards having another way for them to figure it out. If you tend to be a little bit quicker pace, then maybe at least give them a chance to see through it. Or you could do one of those things where it's like you give like a meta hint, so they know to be looking out for, you know, stuff, even if they like don't in character aren't aware. That could be a bit of a middle ground. I just thought of something. I just started a folder for this, but I already have a folder for working on this. Oh, but that's in Google Drive, isn't it? Ruh-roh. Yeah, it is. Oh, just I have that means that I have the thing split in, you know, different places, so what I ended up with is a little more cartoony than I wanted, but it's fine for a background image. Past Mercy Strike. Well, more like Present Mercy, really. Forgetting what Past Mercy had done. a little more like I said, a little more cartoony than I wanted, but it's not the worst, and I just needed something that was like relevant. Wait. Is it going to be poopy because I didn't install the font until after? Fine. Yeah, it is. Okay, well, hold on. I'm going to try closing it then. And then we'll open it again. All right. Take two. Or it's just not going to let us use that font. It's an open type font. I don't understand. Why would that not work? Right, because like normally if I just click on something, right, it just like changes. Yeah, it just changes immediately. Oh, hey, there we go. Now that I always say, like, fifth tries the charm. I feel like I need to aim my camera down a little bit. There we go. That's better. I think it was aimed up so much because of the party hats, but that's not a thing anymore. Okay. I do quite like that font. Wish it hadn't been so annoying to install, but... I kind of feel like a title should be at the top, but also the white font kind of disappears. I feel like it looks better down here in the shadows. I also want it to be... not that big. I liked it, what, in between that was 12. So let's try like 42. There we go. What if we give it a little bit of a stroke? Oh, God. All of that was awful. That's fine. I feel like the stroke makes it look too modern. It does make it pop out, though. Maybe it won't look so modern if we go with like a brown. Wait, why did it not? Hello? That brown that I'm clicking on is not that dark. Okay. I mean... Middle brown is way too close. Nah. Black's the best. Now, I guess the other question could be, what if we go no stroke, but we go drop shadow? Can we just increase the amount of shadowing? Oh. Oh, but it looks weird if it doesn't match the shadowing in the picture. Just kind of roughly that way-ish. Oh, that's kind of nice. It does help define the letters a little bit. It doesn't stand out so much as the stroke. I feel like that's kind of generally the direction that the light source appears to be coming from. Thank you. Yeah, that was too much size, but what was it at before? It was at, oh, well, it's not going to let me go back. I think it was at like, yeah, it was at like 5 or so. So 5 makes it really harsh. 15 is not bad, but probably too abstract. 10's pretty good. If we give it a little more spread, yeah, and then reduce the distance a little. Too far. Maybe 8. Yeah, I like that. Mission accomplished. I don't want to show all of my like file navigation and stuff. Thanks for the feedback, Isadora. I, especially when it comes to design things, can very much be a fiddler. So it's helpful to have somebody just pipe up and be like, no, that's good. I.e., we can move on. Export as PNG. Dang it. Hello, Kale. How you doing? All right, now that you're done with your conferences, let's go. Excellent. Hey, speaking of you, and actually the one shot that I'm working on, since I'm behind on recruitment, if we struggle with recruitment, would you have any interest in filling in during the one shot? Friday. I can't keep straight. Yeah. You have 93 D&D games, so I've given up on, and half of them are and aren't playing at any given time, and it changes every week, it seems. That should be good. Very cool. Yeah, the hope is that we can include a broader group of people from the community, and not, to give more people an opportunity to impact our campaign setting, and yeah, just kind of increase the reach of that. But it's good to have backups. Hello, Kara. You finished a year-long campaign last week, and you're happy that it's congratulations. Actually, Kale, thank you. We're pre-making characters with the NPC classes, so yes, actually, that I might very much need some help on that. They'll be pretty basic, because they're using the NPC classes, but still, it will take time. Thank you for offering. That would be incredible. Also, the invites are / will be open to everybody. So if any of you here want to potentially take part in the one shot that's taking place on Friday, we'll be posting the invite here in Discord shortly. That's what I'm working on literally right now. Right meow, if you will. I might run the song again just so something is happening audibly while I am editing text here. I don't know what the volume on this is going to be though.
Oh, the king gave a land where the wild winds wail, past the forest deep and the mountain trail. With hammer, hope, and a worn-out blade, we came to build, not be afraid. Raise the beams and drive the stake, sow the seeds and mend what breaks. Through rain and cold and beast untamed, we'll make a life on the land we've claimed.
The city hums with the calm design, but things move fast past the borderline. Got faith and steel and hope and song, and hearts that know where they belong.
Raise the beams and drive the stake, sow the seeds and mend what breaks. Through rain and cold and beasts untamed, we'll make a life on the land we've claimed. The quartermaster taught us what to sow, the cleric blessed the heart's warm glow, the ranger keeps the paths in sight, and the blacksmith burns through every night. We'll bury friends beneath this loam, but still we build, still call it home. The world may bite, the gods may test.
Hey, McNick.
But we won't yield, we do our best. the beams and drive the stake. Sow the seeds and mend what breaks through blade and faith and dreams unshamed.
We'll make our mark on the land we've claimed.
For those of you not familiar, that is a piece of music called A Life Will Make that I wrote the lyrics for and then had the song generated because I'm nowhere near that talented, nor do I have enough friends that are talented enough to do that as a group of people. But that's kind of a mood setter for the one-shot that we're going to be doing. Any luck finding Peter? We are, I do believe, done opening Spider-Man. We have plenty of footage still that will be uploaded, but as far as finding anything that we haven't already found, unfortunately, I think that ship has sailed. Yeah, fair enough, Folder. You got to do what you got to do. Okay, perfect. I can actually share this with the link, so that's even easier to work with. I've almost lost her hearing on how much. Well, I'm glad she didn't, but I'm very glad that you found what you wanted. I think that's awesome. Okay, there's that. I heard really good things about those games. I never actually played them. Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for listening in. Appreciate it. It is, of course, taking longer than I wanted it to, but I'm making progress. Played the first one and really enjoyed it. I heard that they had kind of a more, because it's Spider-Man, so kind of a more fun-loving take, if you will, but that it felt very much like early Assassin's Creed mixed with like early Arkham Asylum games, but with like a fun Spidey twist on it. I heard that the web slinging was like very satisfying. Well, yeah, I don't know anything about the story. I'm just talking about like the mechanics. shouldn't be writing copy in Discord. I should be doing this in a Word document, but here we are. The web swinging was very reminiscent of Spider-Man 2 on PS2, but even better. I'll read what I'm typing in a minute. / you'll be able to see it in Discord, but... All right, here's the first little... I have more notes, but the first little bit. The King of Rin offered land if you can claim it, and you've answered the call. You packed up what few belongings you could carry and headed to the other side of the Serpent Spine Mountains to settle on the untamed lands past the borderline north of Capstone. Yeah, I think that works. It's clear. It's not too... it doesn't, like, require too much pre-existing knowledge of anything. I don't suppose that Rocket is still here. Okay, I was just I was gonna hit you up about making characters and whatnot. You're still here, you're number 2 already. I'm not quite ready for it just yet, but I was gonna shoot you a message if you weren't here. Once I get this message posted, I'll fiddle a little bit with characters, and I can kind of show you real fast what we'll need to do. they'll be a little bit more built out than the well, they will and they won't. But they'll be a little bit more built out than like the doubloons characters, but not a whole lot. Oh, dang. Yeah, exactly. Slash, if you want to start even just familiarizing yourself with those, my recollection is there's 3. Oh, I forgot that they added alerts for that. Thank you for the like. I believe they're expert, aristocrat, or no, there's more than that. Yeah, 5. Expert, aristocrat, warrior, adept. Commoner. Forgot about that one. Work is never done though. True. Now you're running your spin-off again after a short break, and the party really wanted to help one character, so now there's a whole story arc just about one piece. Yup. I mean, honestly, I think that's a sign of a healthy table. But I'm picking up what you're putting down. Rocky, you guys started the campaign in mid-spring, right? And we're now into late spring. Not like we totally jumped into the spooky place we are in just for one character who wasn't even one with the idea to go right away. I mean, I think that's also, unless you're doing a fairly on rails campaign, there's usually going to be 1 or 2 characters that are driving like each arc. That's pretty normal. I double checked in my notes. I was mostly, I guess, looking for confirmation. Oh, I know. He knows. I'll read it in a second. I decided to reword something. It's true. You know that I have a glass that says that? You have drank out of said glass? Nice. Oh no, Lee. Dang it. Okay, here we go. I think we're doing pretty good. The King of Rin... take two. The King of Rin offered land, if you can claim it, and you have answered the call. You packed up what few belongings you could carry and headed to the other side of the Serpent Spine Mountains to settle on the untamed lands past the borderline north of Capstone. You've never met your landlord, the Knight Paladin Alandite, hero of the Battle of Capstone, but he sent his ranger to help find locations for settlement and provide enough seeds to start a crop. The woods are thick and the work is hard, but the timber is good and the land appears fertile. After a few weeks of hard work, you've managed to fell enough trees to build a small building for shelter and clear some space for your first crops. I think that's a pretty good, quick, fairly concise rundown. It's only like 5 sentences. It's enough to give a little bit of a setting, but it's not too far into the weeds. I just need to get the hook in there, which will be another sentence or two, but I think 2 short paragraphs isn't too bad. You who once drank milk out of a half shattered glass and also ate glass. Oh, geez. You would be. I honestly hadn't actually decided if they would practice like true feudalism with serfdom or if you would all be free peoples or whatever, but probably free peoples. But yes, Alandite is your feudal lord. Precisely. Work, work. Work complete. Zug, zug. My throat's a little too dry to do it, but close enough. I'm trying to think, what would be like a good name for like a leader for a band of settlers? Right? Like he doesn't have any sort of actual title or anything. Leader feels a bit on the nose. Like a band of settlers. Yeah, like a title for him. No. His name is Wilhelm Eckert. But I'm trying to think of a title for Wilhelm. Well, like I said, title, right? It's not like not an officially recognized title, but what do we think that the settlers would call him? A group of scepters, yes. Director seems a little modern. Chief, I could see, yeah, I see where your head is, and I could see how that might work. I feel like that kind of word is hard to disassociate from our like real world understanding of that word. I'm looking at so I asked Google and I'm looking at the overview, and actually one of the like 6 or so options that it gives is leader. Now also the overview is super bad generally, right? So take this with a huge grain of salt, but it does say leader. In many historical accounts, the individual is simply referred to as the leader of the expedition or settlement, as that was their function. What do you call like the manager of a labor type job? Foreman? Yeah, foreman's not bad. Boss man. Captain. I feel like that usually the leaders of expeditions that were called captains were probably literally captains though, right? Wagon masters, if you're talking about North American westward expansion, but that's not really right. Guide or scout, no, that would be a different term. Founder, it's not bad. Trailblazer, pathfinder, that's kind of falls under guide or scout. I don't think so. Pioneer, you could call pioneer a title, but I do kind of like foreman or leader. I feel like contextually, foreman tends to be more of a like director type role, whereas leader tends to be more of like a collaborative role, or not role, but like etymology wise, like kind of what they imply. Yeah, I do kind of like foreman. Let me look at the actual definition of these words. Obviously, generally, I know, but maybe that can remove ambiguity. Foreman. Governor. Person in charge of a particular department, group of workers, etc., as in a factory or the like. That definition seems super janky. The member of a jury selected to preside over and speak for all the jurors. Oh, I had not thought of that context. Like you are the one who speaks for the group. Oh, that makes me like foreman even more. Okay. Let's see. What about leader? A person or a thing that leads. Thanks. Who knew there were so many definitions of leader? Holy crap, there's 13. A guiding or directing head. Yeah, I think they both work. I kind of like foreman though, because like you still get it, but it's also like it sounds a little more esoteric. Right? Which is how I like to design things. I do, of course, like things to feel period appropriate, but at the same and to feel fantastical. But you also do, of course, have to be careful that you don't get into the flibbity flops, you know, climbed over the heebity jeebies so that they could find the widgets to activate the flibbity flabs. Like it becomes impossible to follow, right? If you have too much of that. So I do try and kind of like shoot for things that feel appropriate, but also that aren't like too custom, I guess, for lack of a better word. Okay, let's while we're defining things. Okay, I was curious about the actual definition of homestead. If that could be more broad, or if that meant like one specific homestead, and it does mean one specific homestead. All right. Is there a word for a group or scattering of homesteads? Yeah, hamlet might be what we want. The most precise term for a scattering of homesteads is dispersed settlement. Rural community. Yeah, so hamlet though is just like that's one of the smallest determiners of towns, right? So hamlet would still be like buildings that are close together, and we do want something like less dense than that. Yeah, and settlement exactly. Yeah, we are calling them settlers, so clearly they have a settlement. I feel like dispersed settlement sounds too modern, but I do kind of like scattered settlement. Scattered settlement. And it says that that is a synonym for a dispersed settlement. Not to mention that monkey brains like alliteration, so I think we're going to go with that. They say it 5 times fast, right? You could call it the frontier. Yes. But I feel like frontier doesn't imply any sort of association, right? That's just like wilderness, essentially. Okay, I'm just a little bit wordy at the end here. Preparations are moving along nicely, but one of the families hasn't brought their contribution to the festival grounds yet, and you're growing worried. Hi, Babo. Yes, you are. You're so pretty, Babo. It's actually being pretty good. That is Babu. Of course she wishes to be free.
You're free. Have fun, Babu. Run and be free. Or walk 5 feet.
I know, Babu. I feel like I'm close. The woods are thick and the work is hard, but the timber is good and the land appears fertile. After a few weeks of hard work, you've managed to fell enough trees to build a small building for shelter and clear some space for your first crops. Spring is coming to a close, and the foreman of your scattered settlement is organizing a planting festival to celebrate. Preparations are moving along nicely, and some of the settlers' families have started to arrive, but one of the families hasn't shown up yet, and you're growing worried. So we have families, and building. Both of those need tweaks. I feel like assemble or something like that is too, again, too modern sounding, though. Construct isn't bad. Or we could replace, we could go with build, but use a different word for building. I was hesitant to say, like, cabin or something, because, that feels a little grandiose for what people probably have built. Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of, I had build a building, which I had already been debating about. Yeah, that works. You raise a barn, I don't see why you couldn't raise, other types of buildings as well. Good verb. Thank you. Hey, T-Bomb, create a cottage. Not bad, actually. Create a crazy cottage. Craft. They locked me in a cabin. Alrighty, thanks for the drive-by. Okay, preparations are coming along nicely, and some of the settlers' relatives have traveled from towns in the region to... Oh, wait, hold on. I'm going to restructure that. Start with that. Some of the settlers' relatives have traveled from towns in the region to help with the festival, and preparations are coming along nicely. But one of the families, one of the settlers, I think, to be more specific, one of the... time for you to go suffer in Overwatch 2 with your husband, but you did make good progress on your session for next week. That sounds good. Have fun with your husband. Thank you for joining us today. It was great to see you again. Good luck in your games. And a plug for you and anybody else who's listening in who might potentially want to. Make sure to join us in Discord. Link should show up in the chat in a second. Discord.gg/HereThereBeMonsters. And give yourself the tabletop role-playing interest, so that way you get pinged to join the one-shot that we're planning. That ping is going to be going out here actually very shortly, because I've been at this longer than I intended. I did not see that. Well, I mean, Kale, they own 5M now, so I'm not surprised. But I had not seen that, no. No, sorry. I know. Yes, thank you for clarifying, Selkie. I did know that that was you. I was just taking the opportunity to promo to anybody else that's listening in. I was using you as a jump off point, but I probably didn't word that very clearly. But thank you, because it is hard to keep everybody's names across different platforms straight. So I do appreciate the clarification. Okay, here we go. I got it. I got it sorted out. All right, I think this is it. Let's read through the whole thing once start to finish, and then I just need to adjust the wording on like cameras and whatnot. Oh, hi Loki. Oh, hi buddy. I know you got some sunbox earlier today. That was great. Yeah.
Are you gonna be off in 10?
I'm planning on it. Yeah. All right. The King of Rin offered land, if you can claim it, and you have answered the call. You packed up what few belongings you could carry and headed to the other side of the Serpent Spine Mountains to settle on the untamed lands past the borderline north of Capstone. You've never met your landlord, the Knight Paladin Alendite, hero of the Battle of Capstone, but he sent his ranger to help find locations for settlement and provide enough seeds to start a crop. The woods are thick and the work is hard, but the timber is good and the land appears fertile. After a few weeks of hard work, you've managed to fell enough trees to raise a small building for shelter and clear some space for your first crops. Yeah, raise is a great choice. Spring is coming to a close, and the foreman of your scattered settlement is organizing a planting festival to celebrate. Some of the settlers' relatives have traveled from towns in the region to help with the festival, and preparations are coming along nicely. But the settlers from one of the homesteads haven't shown up yet, and people are growing worried. Wilhelm, the foreman, is organizing a small group of people to go and check on the missing family, and you've offered to join. Yeah, I like it. I like it. It's like a sentence-ish longer than what I was initially envisioning, but I still think it's a fairly quick read. You make your players paranoid. The front of every chest is trapped. Are you doing it right? Yes. Or sorry, hold on. Yes. I almost feel like we need another channel for one shot. I know, adding another channel to Discord, dear God. Rocket, are you in a place where you can where you could make a channel really fast and make sure that it's like synced properly with the role-playing category and all that? That's all right. I got it. I'm trying to think, what's a good emote to use for one shots? Should we just use the number 1? It's a little on the nose, but it's nice and clear. Instead of like something like a watch because you're on, limited time or whatever. Upload a file. One shots. Advertisement image. Okay, there is that. That's good. I'm happy with it. I think I would have loved to have done it in like half the time, but say la vie with creative endeavors, I suppose.
I'm air frying pork chops when I get home.
Okay. Okay. Okay, cool. I'll be posting more. I made a new channel called One Shots in under the role playing section of our Discord. That's where we'll be taking recruitments and posting character info and whatnot. I do need to run because, like I said, that was later than I expected. But thank you so much for being here. I'm looking forward to playing with Isadora and hopefully more of you. Please head to discord.gg/HereThereBeMonsters. Give yourself the tabletop role playing interest and let us know if you'd like to play. We'll be live on Twitch this Friday the 10th at around 6 p.m. Pacific, and I'll be back on YouTube for another Working Wednesday stream next Wednesday. Take care, and as always, be excellent to each other.